Imagine standing in the heart of an Arabian desert where death follows your every step. No sign of water, no shade from trees. The sun's heat is so intense that even the rocks seem to melt. But as you enter a narrow crevice known as the Sick, the atmosphere shifts instantly. Here, for over a kilometer, you're greeted by nothing but a chilling cool and a profound, haunting silence. Then, suddenly, piercing through the darkness, a rose-red mountain appears before you, featuring a magnificent palace carved 150 feet high into the solid rock. People call it Petra, but the question is, who were the Nabateans who built it? How did they manage to run swimming pools in this desert heat? And how did they carve 15-story buildings into the heart of mountains without a single modern machine? Today we will perform a post-mortem of an empire so advanced that modern man feels like an amateur in their presence. But remember, this is not just a story of success. It is a story of a silent death that buried this entire civilization in the dust forever. The Nabateans didn't start as kings. They were nomadic shepherds of the Arabian desert, but they possessed a secret that made them invincible. Whenever an enemy attacked, these people would vanish into the desert so effectively that the invaders were left stunned, hidden beneath the earth. They had constructed secret water cisterns, massive underground tanks. They would seal the openings of these tanks with sand so perfectly that an enemy would think there wasn't a drop of water for miles. The result? The enemy would perish from thirst, and the Nabateans would emerge from the earth to finish them off. This survival instinct gave them a grand opportunity. They seized control of the trade in frankincense and spices. In those days, these commodities were more valuable than gold. They became the tax collectors of the world's trade routes, and almost overnight, these nomads became the multi-billionaires of the ancient world. Now we come to the gap that still baffles scientists today. Where did all that water come from in a wasteland? Petra received only a few inches of rainfall a year. Yet centuries ago, the Nabateans achieved what we are doing today. They laid a network of clay pipes through the mountains that collected every single drop of rainwater from 8 miles away and channeled it into the city. But the real genius lay in pressure control. If the water pressure was too high, the clay pipes would burst. So they calculated the slope at an exact 4 degrees to ensure the flow remained constant and safe. Through these pipes, they brought 12 million gallons of water into the city every single day. With this water, they created hanging gardens and filled swimming pools in the middle of the desert. When a traveler emerged from the scorching heat of the Sahara into Petra, the sight of fountains made them feel as if they had stepped into another world. Petra's most iconic structure is Al-Kazne, or the treasury. But have you ever wondered how it was built? It wasn't constructed by joining stones. It was carved out of a single mountain. And the most shocking part is, they didn't carve it from the bottom up, but from the top down. This meant they had zero margin for error. If a single pillar was carved slightly wrong, the entire building would be ruined. They used no wooden scaffolding. Instead, they carved stairs into the mountain as they descended. Their geometry was so flawless that on specific days of the year, the sunlight would pierce through the darkness to strike specific corners inside their sacred tombs. These people weren't just laborers. They were master astronomers and mathematicians. At the top of Al-Khazni sits a stone urn. For centuries, rumors persisted that this urn contained ancient gold and jewels. Driven by this greed, locals fired hundreds of bullets at it, and the bullet marks still scream their story today. But the reality is, there was no gold. It was just a solid block of stone. The real treasure wasn't gold. It was the knowledge they left behind. Among the Nabateans, women held equal rights. They had their own currency, and their social system was so advanced that no one lived in poverty. But then, nature changed its course. Where did such an advanced empire go? Two major catastrophes occurred. First, the Romans shifted the trade routes. Caravans began to bypass Petra in favor of sea routes. The wealth stopped flowing. And then came the ultimate blow, the catastrophic earthquake of 363 AD. This quake shattered the magnificent water system that acted as the lifeblood of the city. Without water, that advanced city turned into a graveyard. The Nabateans abandoned their pride and slowly assimilated into other nations. For centuries, the world had no idea what lay hidden behind those desert walls, until a Swiss traveler arrived in disguise in 1812. The Nabatean kingdom reminds us that no matter how great an engineer man becomes, he remains helpless before nature. Today, Petra is one of the 7 wonders of the world, but those who built it have turned to dust. Do you think our modern digital world and massive cities will also be found buried in the desert sands one day? Will we leave behind a mark that will astonish the world 2,000 years from now? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and share it. I will see you in the next mysterious documentary. Goodbye.